Hey everybody, Asher here with some Factorio. We are currently in version 13.1. This is the beta release. Factorio, for those of you that do not know, kind of plays a little bit like a survival game, but it is in fact a lot of different things. We're just going to go with basic settings here and everything because I kind of want to dive into the game, but the gist of it's very simple. You start off with your whole tree crunching, wandering the wilderness. But you do go into building a lot of interesting machines, interesting mechanics. It's one big logic puzzle, and I'm a sucker for good logic puzzles. Now, there is one thing if you've never played Factorio before, and I'm not saying I'm like the king of it or anything, or even close, but you can set up peaceful mode, which means the enemies will never attack you first. We are not going to be playing peaceful mode, so I could get hosed over really quickly. But let's go ahead, hit generate, and see what happens. Alright, so here we are. So far, we're not playing with any mods or anything. But we are playing in the beta release, which means there are a lot of new things available to you. So we do have some iron nearby. And there are different resources we're going to be wanting to look for. We have some copper nearby. Looks like we have some coal nearby and quite a bit of wood. So the first thing that we're going to do here, like I said, is just... It starts off a lot like other survival games. At least we don't have to punch wood until we can get something here. They do have searchable crafting, which is new, and I'm going to have to... not disable it, but what we're going to do here is a few things. We need to get some raw wood. I'd love to find some stone. I'm sure there's a quarry nearby already. Unfortunately, the mini-map doesn't necessarily tell me anything, but all we're going to do here, just starting out, is to make some basic things here. We do have a few basic things available already, so I might as well start with them. One downside is that we are, in fact, going to need stone, so first thing we can wrong button. Again, we're going to be hearing a few wrong buttons from me today, but we're going to go ahead and build two things here. One is a little miner here, a burner drill, and one is a stone furnace. Now what we need to get stuff out of there is actually good old-fashioned coal. And we can do this just a little bit. It won't take too long, but these won't, unfortunately, they won't run very long either. The goal here is that it starts out feeling like a certain kind of game, but then it really dives, like it feels like you have these red things on the map. These are just enemies that live nearby. And let's go ahead and just do a split stack here, full stack here. And this is going to automatically mine, it'll use coal. This pollution will actually attract these people. Eventually, I say people like they're people. Now this is a stone rock here. Well, how much stone do we get out of is I guess our first question. 20 stone. So that's enough to start with. So we got some copper here. Like I said, big thing is I just want to find some stone somewhere. We got a little bit of desert. We got some mixed biome action going on. And we got big stone, which is not great. So we got a lot of rocks. We got like 3 of 4 things. And unfortunately, nothing is particularly close. We got just a little bit of iron. But we'll just make do with what we have. Like I said, big thing is that we're going to need to go ahead and craft a few things. One is that we need to get some actual iron. And how crafting works in this game is that we have things that are available. Just like we can make some stone furnaces right now. We will, in fact, need some stone furnaces, but we also need to go ahead and make some gear wheels. We're going to be making these a lot later on, as you'll see. So how do we do that? Well, we can go ahead and it should be, I gotta remember here. So 18 plates right here, and now that we have those plates, we can make possibly little gear wheels. We can just go ahead and automatically do it that way. So I'm gonna have to really get used to not clicking on that. Alright, so if there is one downside to everything that's going on right now, it's that I don't have, unless I'm just missing it on the map, and it is entirely possible that I'm missing it, it doesn't feel like I have a lot of stone nearby. I just have a few outcroppings. There's our stone. Okay, so it wasn't too far off. We're going to need some big areas for some of these things eventually anyway. This iron amount here may end up being a limiting factor over time. So let's see here. This is not going to burn while I'm trying to get some stuff together. So let's go ahead and get some coal. Now I am running... I'm trying to run this as best I can, as clear as I can. I know there's going to be some artifacts just because it's that kind of game. But let's go ahead and... we're going to set up ourselves a sort of infinite mining thing here. The way that you know it's infinite is because that little arrow says where it spits out. And machines can spit into and out of each other just one way. So if we actually Put one piece of coal in here. This will eventually drill. And if we watch this, it generates coal faster than it spends it. So these things will eventually come back. So that's very good. They will spin themselves up. So there's 3 coal here, 3 coal here. So we got a bit of wood, we got a bit of stone. Let's go ahead. You don't level up by making a few things. In fact, there's well, you don't level up by actually crafting. You do have research things that you can do, and we will be getting there eventually. But there's definitely some stuff I want to do just because we are a little bit spread out. I need to clear some of these trees. I want to get some copper going to be sure. And we'll see how far we can take this, where we want to go with it. Like I said, we do have some wood. We are going to need some stone up here, so it's probably for the best if I go ahead. Can I craft another one of these? Yes. Now we don't need to like make stone bricks yet. What we can do, in fact, just go ahead and set you here, rotate there. Let's put a little crate up here. Once we do that, first off, we actually need to get stuff back. You're going to see there's a lot of running around. And that's one of the things that I guess for some people is kind of a turn off with a game like Factorio. You want things to go faster right away, make it work. Oh, trust me, eventually it will get very complicated. We just have to start here. Like I said, this pollution is just drifting down ever so slowly. So there's 21 coal, 41 coal. So that's a good start. Eventually we'll be able to go through these areas a lot quicker. Either by creating vehicles for ourselves or just getting things, or just walking faster in general. So let's split stack. Well, let's do the whole stack. Why not? So we're going to get stone in here eventually. This chest can hold quite a bit. So that's good. Now our next limiting factor, once again, is coal. And we do want to go ahead and put some other mining processes up here. So if we can get some more iron mines going, that'll be good. We don't have too much left here. We can't build another one of these yet, can we? Now we can. Let's see here. So that'll be fine for these. You can see our little crafting wheel down at the bottom. So this coal is going to be automatically generated for just a while. And pretty much our first system here is just going to be plopping in stuff as best we can. Nothing really complicated to it, just don't want to shift click. There we go. There's like all these shift click commands that I can just never remember. There we go. So we want that to go. That's good. Then if we go down here, we can go ahead and get another one of these going, and this is just going to be kind of like a little temporary, because we're not going to be using burner things forever. They create a lot of pollution. They piss off the locals. I guess if there's a premise to this game, it's that you're on a planet, a hostile planet by yourself, and you need to survive. But we've never heard that one before, right? Alright, so there's our copper area. We don't need to be like refining stone into bricks yet, although we can do that eventually. So for now, we're just going to take our stone. We're not going to need too much stone. We're going to need some wood. And if there's... Fortunately, I'm near a forest, so right now we're pretty resource rich. We have to walk a little bit between some of the areas. But as I said before, we'll be able to fix that pretty shortly. Now there's a few things that we can build. We don't need to be smacking directly into the copper ore here. But there's a few things that we are going to want to build right away to get our workflow going early. So I'm going to go ahead and clear some of these trees. And we can put trees in here. We can put wood in there for fuel. But coal is just so much more efficient. I guess rip Great Barrier Reef, right? And let's see, we got you still going. Alright. So we're finally rolling in good in plates. Now there's a few things we can do. One of them is to create an electric mining drill. In order to do that, we need to actually create electronic circuits. How do you create electronic circuits? You need copper cables. How do we get copper cables? Well, we have copper mining down there already. But electric drills also require electricity. And in order to get electricity, we need to build some power plants and some power stuff, including things that take electronic circuits. So let's go ahead and start there. I guess one question I have is where do we actually want to put the power plant? I'm guessing right here is probably okay. So let's go ahead and craft one offshore pump. Let's craft... See, why am I short on this? We need more iron for pipes. Okay. So we're going to have a lot of stuff here crafting. Once again, there's no like hard-coded crafting level or anything. But if we're going to go ahead and have stuff automated, we might as well. Just go ahead and use electricity, because that's kind of our goal, is automation, as it were. Because we need to get a few things going here right away. You can see that one thing that we can build is a lab, but that lab also requires electricity. And that lab allows us to put research together, which will let us do things, and this seems like as good of a place as any. That lab will let us do a lot of important things here. So let's go ahead and put the broiler over here. I'm going to zoom in just to make sure I do this right. Now these broilers require fuel, and let's see here. Can I build some pipes? Wow, it actually takes a lot more than I thought it did. Alright. And we have a little bit of coal left. Because all we want to do is to give ourselves a little bit of a space to walk here. Let's put one right here. Then we'll put you down here. Give ourselves like... Let's give ourselves like 3. And the idea behind this is that we're going to be pumping a lot of power. So right now we're a little bit centralized, which is pretty good. We can go ahead and just manually load this. It's probably fine for now. We don't want to do it that way. And this will generate power for us eventually. But there's some other things we need to do as well. Like right now those are flashing because we don't actually have anything that uses power just yet. So we need to change that. And the best way that we are going to be able to change it, here's our production stats right now. We don't want the main menu. Don't do that to me. Alright. Bonuses, none yet. Map. Like I said, we have a few hostiles nearby, but not that nearby. So we should be okay. We are not going to need a lot of stone for a while. We are going to need some more copper. We're going to need a little bit more of everything. So what we can do here is we need to go ahead and set up some electric mining operations here. I'm going to stick with 2 coal for now. Now we have this thing still automatically going all the time. That's all well and good. And did I actually make 1 of these or 2 of these? So we got 1. And I want to make sure I do this right. So let's go ahead and put this down. Let's put you down over here. Let's put you over here. Now this area that we have is, and I'm going to put these, there's going to be a little bit of a mining overlap. Oh well, there's not because there's a tree in the way. Let's try that again. There's going to be a little bit of a mining overlap, that's true, but we have another thing that we can build called conveyor belts, and these are very important. Because what these will let us do is to automatically transport things to wherever we want to go, and they don't require electricity, so that's pretty cool. Alright, so you can see we are running low on fuel. Lots of things are unhappy right now. We're going to be needing to make a lot of conveyor belts here. And we need to go ahead and make some inserters as well. We're going to make some burner inserters. All that means is about exactly like what it sounds like. Which is that they, what these little kiddos do is they grab off of an assembly line if they have power and they go to it. So let's see. We put this right here. We don't really care about the direction of how some of this is going to go. We have to go ahead and get some more of this too. Okay. So eventually, once we start getting power on these, they will start to just build. Alright, let's see here. We need more. We need a little more of everything right now. So we need you, we need you. We're gonna be mining iron soon anyway, so let's go ahead and get our copper together. Lots of copper plates. Wouldn't be shocked if we were out of stuff here. We probably don't need stone for a little while. Like if we check the box, that's another way we can do it. We can just shift click, but that'll be allowed to go for quite some time. Alright, the other thing we need to build actually is power lines. Unfortunately, we can build a lot of those. So if we put some of the stuff here, because we want to actually be tracking our coal through here, which is one reason I wanted to make this. Okay, we can't do it that way. I was right the first time. Can't do it that way. Alright. We have like a little 3 space here. Now if we put power poles over here, and we can eventually connect them with this stuff here, so that's good. Now our power generation is not going to be like super crazy yet, but right now we do have a little bit of power, and you can see suddenly these things are starting to mine. Why are you not mining? Apparently you are just barely disconnected. Alright. Weird. Alright. Good enough for me. So now we have coal. And what's going to happen here is that these burners, unless I did it incorrectly, and I don't think I did. I did do it incorrectly. Nice. Alright. I love recording when I do things really screwed up. Alright. Fortunately, it takes no resources to do this again. But now when we run it like this, you can see those inserters are going to do the following. And it doesn't really make a difference if we connect this belt one way or another, but I will anyway. We're going to have a little bit of a backlog of coal right there for now. That's fine. But how these steam engines work, you can see the little thing over there, is that they have performance, they have available performance. They need their water heated up by broilers. These broilers are currently working. They only have a certain amount of coal in there, but now they will pick up coal off the line anytime they need power. So that's good. Now we just need to do the same thing for a few other things. We have electric mining drill, which we need to go ahead and get a lot of resources for. Like if we can get some fully automated stuff here, it'll be pretty nice, because we need to get our research going here in just a moment. I could probably go ahead and start making research. So let's see here. Electric mining drill. We'll do two for iron, we'll do 1 for copper. Right now we'll probably get enough to do more here momentarily. But yeah, the big thing of this game is keeping your assembly lines going, I guess, correctly. And there's a lot of ways that can get screwed up. But this is going to be our iron line first off, so that's pretty exciting. And we can actually go ahead and well, there's a few things we can do. I think probably the best thing to do, for some reason that's still wanting to bug out on me a little bit, is if we go ahead and put some inserters over here, we can actually pluck out refined iron. What we want to do is eventually have enough of these stone furnaces where we're just putting iron in and out, in and out, in and out. So I guess for now we'll just go ahead and drop a box, drop an inserter over here until we can get our mining actually automated. So let's go ahead and move this up here. Supposedly I can. Alright. So all that mining is going now. We're going to have a lot of pretty power lines, that's for sure. We actually need more coal. Let's see, just like this, all the ore that's being generated, it's going to go into that wooden chest. But right now, that's just ore. What we need to do is actually change this so that we have a production line with more stone furnaces, which is where we go back to Lots of fun things here. Let's go ahead and just, while we're still here. And this is the kind of thing where you want to diagram some of the stuff out too, to be sure. Let's see. Some furnace here. I think that'll be enough. We want to kind of have an automated line down here too. So we'll start like that. Because if you don't have anywhere for those things to go, they will just spit it out and put it there. You need some more coal. But we're going to kind of have this central area as kind of our first sort of production thing. And what are we going to do here? There's a few things I need to do. Like I said I want to get some research going as well. We can build a science lab. First thing we need to do is build some transport belts. And if we can go ahead and just... because we're going to have this turn eventually. Let's go ahead and put these like right here, because there's two ways that we're going to make this work. And I'm just trying to think of the best way to do it. What we want to do is to make a system where we have coal that's getting inserted into these things at the same time as we're able to get stuff out of the stone furnace and put it in there, because coal is just going to be something that we have to work with for now. So we're going to have one line that has some of these on it, and while I could technically go ahead and load up myself for some of this stuff, we're just going to, and I mean for now I could kind of just casually put this down here, at least while we're waiting. Because you can see we already have a backup of coal, and once we have enough of a backup, these things aren't going to need to mine, which is fine. But yeah, kind of our first backlog problem. We need a way that we can go ahead and get iron actually put into here. We want to eventually have a bunch of iron plates going this way, which means I probably need to build these things one row down. Alright, so what I'm going to do here is if we put this right here, so let us kind of go out with the old and with the new, because eventually these things are going to be outdated. Okay, so we have one space right here. Okay, let's start with 4. And we need to actually put some electrical inserters in there too. See, problem solving, isn't it fun? And we're almost at time here too, which is, I guess, very exciting to a point. All right, well, this is working. We're just going to go ahead and do it like this. So half C, half C, half C, half C. Let's put the whole thing in there. All right, now we want these lines to do 2 things. And I've seen some talk that says that maybe I should put these in a different direction, but I guess my big question is going to be, how do I want to make this work? Okay, first thing is first. While I'm sitting here trying to dick around with this, I really do need to get a lab built. And it's really funny that I can build a lab just like this. It's all magic. But the other thing I need to do is actually build some science packs. We're going to start with 10. Eventually we're going to make these ourselves. But for now we need to do it like this because we need to start to get some research, because if we don't, we're going to possibly get smacked down and attacked. Alright, so alright, I guess I do need to go ahead and put one of you guys over here, because that way we can fit 3 in a power line. We can truck you off for a second, put you over here. Now once we get this going, once again we want coal to be in all of these, and we want another line that will eventually take these things out. Now they're not going to dump just themselves. So I guess there's two things that we can do here. Let's start by dropping the lab, though. We'll just keep the lab right here for now, and research immediately popped up. They have a little tech tree option available too, which is very exciting to see. So they did redo this layout from the first time I was experimenting playing. But let's see here, we can go ahead and do automation. It does give us long-handed inserters, which we actually do need, and it only takes 10 science packs. So what are we going to do? We're just going to plop in 8 science packs, 9 science packs, and 1 more science pack. There we go. So here's going to be our goal for next episode, because I think this is a pretty decent start here. But what we're going to do for now is just to try and do the following. We want to have an output of ore that's eventually going to go here, that's going to get put into here, that's going to be turned into plates, that's going to go on this line and down to the next set of production. We're going to do the same thing for the copper, and we want to have the coal actually running up to like here. And if we do it that way, then when we get the long hand inserters, they'll be able to pull the coal off the line to power these things. And it's going to work really nicely. But that's it for now. This is Asher. We are definitely going to be doing this again soon. So let's go ahead and just grab all this ore. There's so much ore that we have mined. And that is just fine. In fact, we can probably go ahead and put these little inserters out here as well. However, I can go ahead and see one of the issues that I'm going to run into with this layout, so we'll probably have to fix it before too long. That's okay. Look, we're getting plates. We'll fix some of these issues next time, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments. Always looking for feedback, especially things like this where there's a lot of new and very interesting things that can be done, but how do we make it work? So here's our next research. I will go ahead and spoil the next one and say we have automation research. We could do electronics for the filler inserter, or we could go ahead and do logistics, which is very important because of the splitter. So we'll go ahead and research. There is supposed to be a research button. There it is. Okay, we're playing full screen, so it's a beta, it's a little buggy, but that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you next time.